We are going to get to play with some fun OLED graphics today. Rather than just text, we're going to learn how to make pictures. So the OLED that we have happens to have 64 by 48 pixels, so it's about 3,000 pixels. Again, this means basically that we're going to have a bit for every pixel to turn on or off. So if we were to do the math, we know that 8 bits is 1 byte, so essentially each image would be 384 bytes if we wanted to have a dot on each pixel that the screen can display. Now, these are pretty low-level graphics, so some of the nice features we might have on a computer or a phone are very, very different. And so this is going to have every pixel needs to be on or off. And we're going to display images in the bitmap format, which is actually similar to what your computer would do. So if we look at an image, if we were to really zoom in, we'll see that an image is actually made up of a bunch of small squares. And we don't see them unless you get really close, but when you do, you can zoom in and you see an image looks pixelated if you zoom in. So this is how our screen works, except rather than having great depth of color and very millions of colors we can display, we basically got on or off. There's no colors, it's just black and white, essentially. And so imagine that each one of these squares, we have to tell the screen to either be on or to be off. And that's how we display a picture. So another way of looking at it is we store bitmaps in basically giant arrays of plain old bytes. And so, as I mentioned, there's only 1 bit per pixel. So doing the math again, we have 384 bytes. Now, how do we represent that in the Argon? Well, we use something called an unsigned 8-bit integer. It's just an integer, but since we're only displaying 8 bits, a byte, it just makes it more memory efficient to use the unsigned int. So this is just an unsigned 8-bit int. Okay. Now, if we had to make all of these images by hand, it would be very, very tedious and not very much fun. So there's a nice tool that we can use to convert images to a byte array. One thing is the image needs to be black and white. Color and grayscale aren't going to work very well. Also, this is a limitation of the Argon. We want to use, ideally, actual size images, meaning the 3072 bits, or pixels rather. That's really what we want to use, or very, very small. Don't try to use a giant photo. So once we display an image, this is what we're going to look. So for example, here is an image, say from your computer or your phone, with black and white. When you display it on the OLED, this is what it's going to look like. Just kind of keep in mind that's what it's going to be. Now, this is just some things to remember. We're not going to get into it too much. The way the screen on the OLED that we have draws is called vertical, 1 byte per pixel. Okay. Our screen library does require that all pixels be specified. Meaning, let's say that you have your screen here. Let's say you only want to display a little circle up here. You still need to specify in your array the entire width. Even though it's going to all be off. Otherwise, it won't display properly. Okay. So, how do we do it? Pretty easily. We simply go to this tool. There's a whole bunch of them. This one I found worked pretty well. Image to CPP. Load your picture. Once you have the picture loaded, you're going to specify the dimensions that you want, the output canvas size. You should always say 64 by 48 because that's what our screen is. Depending on what the image is like, whether it's black as your background or white as the background, you can choose that. You can invert the colors if you want to switch black to white and white to black, etc. This is only useful if you have a grayscale image, meaning images with gray instead of black and white. Then you can use that. Choosing center horizontal or vertical is where does the picture, as you see down here, where does it get assigned in your image? You can choose that however you want. Here is where this comes into play, the vertical 1 byte per pixel. We just choose this option in the setting. And what it'll do, once we do that, is it'll generate this giant array of bytes. All you have to do, copy all of this, drop it into your code, as an array. So again, we use our const unsigned 8-bit integer, make it an array, and then fill from here to here. This is going to be your array. Just drop that in. Once you have that done, you're good to go. Load it, use the library to display, and you'll be ready to go.